And good evening, BTM. So we are now doing an exegesis on James chapter 3. Is my audio audible? Audio audible. Marinig lang ako yun. Nag-thumbs up na si Ephraim and si Antoine. All right, sige. So let's start with verse 13. Book of James. Sabi niya, who is wise and understanding among you? Okay, again, iano ko na lang, no? Mag-shortcut na tayo. Ang author talaga nito is James. Most likely, as we've discussed sa New Testament survey natin last week, he is most likely the brother of Jesus, James, who became a leader of the church in Jerusalem. So mostly Jewish Christians kanyang minister. And he specifically says it to the 12 tribes. So wala namang ibang 12 tribes, but the Jewish na mga Christians. So he says, who is wise and understanding among you? Sino ba yung mga wais at nakakapag-intindi sa inyo? Mga matatalino, mga bright. By his good conduct or good works, let him show his works in the meekness of wisdom, the humility of wisdom. So observation dito, James poses a rhetorical question. Sino nag-ano nito? Ikaw to, Ate Jean?
Paano mo alam?
Walang mga iba. Only Ligan can do this. Joke lang.
Ay, grabe.
So, why do you say it's a rhetorical question?
Kasi pinost ni James yung tanong na who is wise and understanding among you. Tapos, sinagot niya din kung ano yung character ng wise and understanding person. So, ayun. So, from what I understand from here, somebody who has good conduct will show his works in the meekness of wisdom. Siya yung wise and understanding.
Okay. Excellent. So, sa mga nagwo-wonder, ano bang rhetorical question? So, according to Oxford, a question asked in order to create a dramatic effect or to make a point rather than to get an answer. So, hindi talaga siya concerned sino ang wise or sino ang understanding. Rather, it's to make a point, which is, yun na yung sinasabi natin, Jean, his point is that it's the one who does good work with humility. Yun yung wais. Okay? Okay. Number 2, meekness is from wisdom. Okay, so we have to define, how do you define meekness dito? So yun na yung question number 1, no? What is the meekness of wisdom? Walang hypothesis. Sino nagtanong nito? That's a really good question.
Ay,
What is the
sorry.
meekness
That's
of
me.
may hypothesis ka ba, Jean, or
Mm,
wala kang any guess?
uh, yes, um, I feel like I have an answer pero hindi ko siya ma-phrase into words. So,
Okay.
so
Sige
maybe
lang.
my answer is I don't know.
Okay. Sige. So, meron ba sa inyo any hypothesis lang o ano kaya ang meekness of wisdom? Okay. So, ako ang hypothesis ko dito, meekness of wisdom involves good conduct or good works, no, mga acting in a way that honors God, that serves people, that helps them in their well-being, does objectively good things that siguro alleviate suffering, promote community cohesion, anything na good, in the service of God and other people. It involves good works. It's full of humility, does not have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition. So ang basis ko for this is verses 13 to 14. Diba? Sabi niya, sino ang wise and understanding among you? He has to show it by. So ang by, sa mga hindi pa familiar, later on siguro yan natin. But sa mga first timers, this is a grammatical cue or a structural marker, di ba? Anong ibig sabihin pag by, Ate Jean? By or through, it is a
Ano?
by grace, through faith, ganun, di ba? Like a manner or means, di ba? Ang by. It is through his good conduct. You can argue for that. So, makikita mo sa magagandang gawa in good works if a person is really wise and understanding. Now, makikita in his works, in his good works, in the meekness or in the humility of wisdom. So, yun na, meekness of wisdom involves good works. It's full of humility. Wala siyang bitter jealousy and selfish ambition. This is more of the verse 14. So, but is a structural marker din. It means contrast. It's trying to compare two opposite things. So, but, kung meron kang bitter jealousy, bitter na pag-iinggit. Ano bang bitter sa Tagalog, Ate Jean? Or sa Bisaya?
Bitter Ocampo?
Ah, bitter, for bitter or for worse? ano ang Bisaya sa bitter? Ano, di ba? If you have this bitterness na pag-iinggit, no, you want what others, bitter envy in other versions. Selfish ambition sa inyong puso, do not boast and be false to the truth. So, it's trying to contrast na this is not wisdom. This is not understanding. Okay? Kaya, yun ang hypothesis ko. Again, this is a hypothesis. This is just my answer to the question. And that's my basis, the verses 13 to 14. Meekness of wisdom or humble wisdom. Wisdom with humility involves good works. It's humble. Wala siyang bitter jealousy and selfish ambition. Okay. Verse 14. But if you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast, be false to the truth. So, observations dito, humility and humbleness doesn't boast. Kaya anong difference ng humbleness? I think that's just the same thing. Erase ko na. Sino naglagay nito? Baka magalit ka na i-erase ko ang humbleness. I think it's just the same word. Humility and humbleness. Ikaw, Carlo? Ikaw naglagay nito? Or...
Yes, kuya. Yes.
Okay. I-erase ko ha? Or ma-angry ka ba sa akin? Rar! Si kuya.
Okay lang, kuya.
Yeah, I think they're the same word with different spelling. So, okay, sige. Sorry ha, I'm very distracted kasi nag-uusap sila about internship. So, humility doesn't boast. Okay. Okay, that's good. Jealousy and selfish ambition leads you to sin. Okay? I'm not sure if observation ito siya. What do you think, Ate Jean? Do you think these are observations? Or para siyang conclusions na siya on verse 14?
Parang ang conclusion eh.
Yeah.
Pero yeah. I think it's more of a conclusion or a hypothesis.
Oo. Yeah, para siyang hypothesis. So, para siguro parang this is good, no? Na you're really trying to participate So para lang maintindihan nyo, kasi baka first time, ganun. Ang meaning sa observation is you just really observe the text. No? So you just really, hindi ka magko-conclude, but rather, you try to see it as it is. No? So for example, ito, James poses a rhetorical question. Observation yan siya sa verse 13. Or, yan, meekness is from wisdom. Kasi sinabi niya talaga, by his good conduct, let him show his work in the meekness of wisdom. Who is wise and understanding among you? By his good conduct, let him show his works in the meekness of wisdom. Pwede mo ngang sabihin, actually, parang gan observation siya. Pero pwede mo rin maging hypothesis ito. When you say na na observation, it's really dapat ka lang talaga. Talagang focus ka lang talaga sa verse, ganon. No, like ito, to fight our jealousy, we should not boast and be medyo na rin yan, parang medyo nag-hypothesize ka na kasi hindi siya clear sa text na yan talaga ang sinasabi ni James. Hindi siya parang 100% obvious na yan ang baka nga yan ang sinasabi niya, no? Pero ang observation is like this na if do not boast and be false to the truth. Paano ba? Parang inulit ko lang man. Sa observation talaga ako medyo nahihirapan, no? Kaya sa question and hypothesis ako nagabawi. Pero geto. Bitter jealousy and selfish ambition can exist in the heart of people. Ganyan. That's an observation, di ba? Kasi sabi niya, if you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition in your heart, ganun. So, you can observe na bitter jealousy and selfish ambition, pwede siyang mag-exist sa puso ng mga tao. Specifically in this context, in Jewish Christian. Kasi he's talking to Jewish Christians in the first century. So parang ganyan. Ganyan ang question mo dito is why not boast and be false to the truth when you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition in the heart? Diba? Bakit? Like, bakit niya to pino-point out? Anong point ni Paul? What is ni James? What is bitter jealousy? What is selfish ambition? Or what did James mean by these terms? Kasi nga hindi ito English isinulat. This was written in Greek. So, what did he mean during that time? What is selfish ambition? What did he mean, James mean by false to the truth? Diba? So, again, we're doing this like this kasi we want to think like James. We want to papasok tayo sa time ni James, pasok tayo sa time capsule, time machine, go back during that time. Ano bang gusto mong sabihin, James? No? Kasi hindi nga niya ito sinulat to Gio Aquino or to Obed Bagona or to Mark Carlo Fuerzas. He was not writing to us. He was writing this to a specific people. No? But we believe na kahit na hindi siya sinulat for us, to us, it has significance. It has timeless truths na applicable even today in our own context. So that's kaya exegesis is really hard work, no? And kami nga ni Jonel before, yung disciple ko, na salmista din, it took us mga 16 hours before to exegete one passage, one chapter. Umabot kami ng 16 hours noon, minimum. As in. But those were the days. No? Ngayon, medyo faster na tayo. Kasi wala tayong 16 hours. Okay. Sige. Okay, yun lang ha, just something to note. Parang parang hindi, parang more of hypothesis na siya or conclusion, hindi siya observation. Sige lang. So question number 1 is, what is being false to the truth? Ayan, meron palang nag-ask. Ikaw to, Ate Jean, no? Nag-ask what is false to the truth?
Yes.
That's a great
Paano mo
question.
alam?
So ikaw na nag-hypothesis. I think being false to the truth is when your bitterness or pride distorts reality through exaggerated words, either of your own capabilities or others' own fault or lack thereof. Ah! That's so KJV. Fault or lack thereof. Okay. I think being false to the truth, i-erase na lang natin itong I think, Regina, kasi, hypothesis naman talaga yan. Being false to the truth is when your bitterness or pride, okay, distorts reality through exaggerated words, either of your own capabilities or others' own fault. Okay. Ang basis mo dito, Ate Jean, is verse 14, ano? Tama
What do
ba?
you mean in verse 14?
Kasi sa verse 14, if you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition, do not boast and be false to the truth. False to the
Yeah.
truth.
And siguro, saan yung chapter that talks about the tongue? It's the same chapter.
This is the same chapter, verses 1. It's the preceding verses. Chapter 3, verses 1 to 12.
Yeah, I think that's where I got the context from. Medyo outside the scope lang of what we were studying really, or the verses that we are concentrating on. Pero for me, it kind of sets up the context of bitterness and of what bitterness and selfish ambition does. So what does it do? Diba? When you're bitter or you're very prideful, there are two things that you tend to do. You either put down other people or elevate yourself above them, which can be, siguro there is slight truth to it, maybe. Pero in most cases kasi, or at least sa personal life ko, whenever I find myself being jealous or bitter or prideful, it's usually one or the other na ginagawa ko. Either hina-hype up ko yung capabilities ko na, mas magaling naman ako, ganyan. Or I lower the other person na hindi naman siya magaling sa ganito eh. Or, ano siya eh. You find reasons to make yourself look better. So, that's what I'm getting from it. I'm not sure if I'm projecting, pero at least based on personal experience and in light of yung verses before this and yung verse na to mismo, I think that's what it means. Na you're not being true to yourself. Parang you're not examining yourself or that other person without bias. Kasi you're biased to yourself eh. Kaya ina-exaggerate mo yung mga capabilities mo or yung galing mo and binababa mo yung tao. So it's either way, it's not magiging kulang ng self-awareness or you're not seeing things as objectively true because you are bitter or having selfish ambition. Excuse me. Or you have pride. Yun yung what I think this verse means.
That's so profound, Ate Jean, ano? Really grabe, I think you got to the heart of the matter talaga. Grabe, Ate Jean, hindi talaga nasayang 3 years mo sa BTM, no?
Natuto lang naman ako
Tumpak
sa
man
inyo.
talaga. Yeah, kasi kinonect mo sa chapter 3 verses 1 to 12. Tapos talagang in-unearth mo siya. Paano mo naisip yung lahat? Nagbasa ka ba ng commentary or ikaw lang ang nag-ano nito?
Hindi.
Nag-conclude?
Nakinig lang ako sa inyo. Di ba naglalakad ako kanina? So, I wasn't really looking at the screen. Kaya nakinig lang ako, tapos nag-isip-isip. Yun.
Yeah.
And,
Ang ganda.
thank you. I learned from you guys.
Sige na, mag-end na tayo. Okay, let's close this in prayer. I request siya. Okay na. Tapos na tayo. Okay, I love that, no? Kasi pag titingnan mo, but if you have bitter jealousy, kasi sa verse 13, it's talking about wisdom. It's talking about people na who are actually wise. Pag titingnan mo kasi sa chapter 3, verse, yung pinaka-verse 1 talaga ng chapter 3, he says, not many of you should become teachers. Yun yung entry niya. Bakit? For, you know, that we who teach will be judged with greater strictness. For we all stumble in many ways, and if anyone does not stumble, he's a perfect man, able to bridle his own body. But if we put bits into the mouths of horses, so that they obey us, we guide their whole bodies as well. Look at the ships. They are so large, driven by strong winds. They are guided by a small rudder wherever the will of the pilot directs. So also the tongue is a small member, yet it boasts of great things. Ang topic dito is about the tongue. How great a forest is set ablaze by such a small fire, and the tongue is a fire, a world of unrighteousness. The tongue is set among our own members, staining the whole body, setting on fire the entire cause of life, and set on fire by hell. Basically, ang main point niya dito is that someone who can control the tongue is a perfect person. And if you're going to be a teacher, you should control your tongue. Diba? Sino yung mga teacher? They are people who are wise and understanding. That's verse 13. You cannot teach kung hindi ka wise and understanding. Nagturo ka pa, wala ka naman palang alam and you don't have wisdom, diba? The one who teaches using their tongue is wise and understand. He should be wise and understanding. But hindi dapat lahat magtuturo. Hindi dapat lahat teacher kasi nga they will be judged more strictly. So ngayon na nag full circle na tayo, no? So dito sa verse 14, sabi niya, kung meron kang bitter jealousy, naiinggit ka sa iba and you're bitter and resentful about it. Tapos meron ka pang selfish ambition, no? Gusto mong ipataas yung sarili mo sa puso mo, and dapat hindi ka magyabang and be false to the truth. And actually, ang hindi ko lang talaga maintindihan dito is yung false to the truth. Kaya ngayon, na-appreciate ko kay Ate Jean yung hypothesis niya or yung parang analysis niya of this. Kasi nag-make sense na sa akin yung false to the truth. Sabi niya dito, being false to the truth is when, dahil bitter ka nga and you're resentful, tapos prideful ka pa, meaning you're trying to protect your own ego. Ayaw mo na maliitin ka ng iba, ayaw mo na mababa ka compared to others. Because of your bitterness and your pride, nadi-distort ngayon ang reality. How? By exaggerated words. Boasting, yun na yun. You're boasting, pinagyayabang mo. And because you are boasting, na-exaggerate yung sarili mong kapabilidad. Sasabihin mo na, magaling ako maging doktor, magaling ako sa math, magaling ako sa science, ganun. Or in fact, may alam ka, pero hindi ka pa magaling. No? Na-exaggerate mo because of your pride and your bitterness. And when you exaggerate, hindi ka na truthful, hindi ka na realistic. Because you are boasting. Or either itataas mo yung sarili mo or ibababa mo yung iba. Ayan siya, hindi naman talaga siya magaling actually. Parang magaling lang siya. Ay, ano, fake lang yan siya. Hindi naman talaga totoo yung sinasabi nila. Ano lang naman, actually, nahihirapan talaga yan siya. Ewan ko nga bakit ang taas ng tingin nila sa kanya. 'Di ba? So binababa natin yung iba or tinataas natin yung sarili natin because of selfish ambition or because of bitter jealousy. 'Di ba? Sabi talaga, Ate Jean, I'm so proud of you, Ate Jean. Talagang was char. Yan. So guys, na-appreciate nyo ba what we are doing? So this is exegesis, no? Tinatry mong mag-ask ng questions and then you really try to analyze to get to the heart of James. Anong sinasabi mo, James? Ganon. And ito na, no? Actually, dito, pwede ka nang gumawa ng exegetical idea dito. Joke lang. Anyway, so pag magawa tayo ng exegetical idea, we take it as a whole, ha? Hindi tayo mag-focus on one verse lang. We take it as one pericope or one section. One thought. Para hindi tayo maging myopic or short-sighted. Tulad ni Cherit. Joke lang. Hindi short-sighted si Cherit, spiritually. Ano siya, short-sighted physically. Short-sighted ka ba, Cherit? Or long-sighted?
Far-sighted ata yun.
Far. Hindi, tinatest ko lang, Ate Jean, kung you're listening. Near-sighted. Yan. Hindi, short. Ano ba yan? Near. Sino bang doctor dito? Anyway, so verse 15, this is not the wisdom that comes down from above. Okay? Yan na yung may selfish ambition, may bitter jealousy, that's boasting, and false to the truth, distortion of reality and truth, because truth is reality and reality is truth. Okay. Yan, yung wisdom na yan, hindi galing sa taas, but it's earthly, it's unspiritual, it's demonic. Observation dito, worldly wisdom does not bear good fruits. Parang observation siya, Ate Jean, no? Pero hindi siya verse 15 na observation. Para siyang observation from 13 to 15. Yeah. Pwede pa siya maging, for me, okay pa siya as observation. Wisdom that comes from the world is self-centered. Pwede rin. Pwede rin. Parang verses 14 to 15 siya. Kasi selfish ambition, bitter jealousy. You can summarize that as self-centered. And yeah, wisdom that comes from the world is self-centered. Okay, that's a good observation. Our own understanding and knowledge is far from the knowledge from above. Ito, ito? Medyo hypothesis na siya or conclusion. Kasi, connect na, pwede mong sabihin, earthly understanding. Pwede ganun. Earthly understanding is far from knowledge from above. Pwedeng ganun. Meaning, merong two types of wisdom. There's two types of understanding knowledge. And that is the earthly and the heavenly. Yun naman ang ibig sabihin ng from above, di ba? Heavenly. That is, for me, pwede pa yun as observation. There are two types of wisdom. Heavenly, yan na yung ibig sabihin ng from above, and earthly, which is yan na yung unspiritual, demonic. Okay, ikaw ba ang naglagay nito, Mark Carlo Fuerzas bro?
How did you know?
How did you know I needed someone like... I have kasi heavenly wisdom. Joke lang. Anyway, so yun lang ha, kasi anyway, I think first time ninyo. Actually, wala kaming okay lang ito sa amin. We're not criticizing you ha. I'm just saying this kasi this is just how we do things sa BTM. Wala naman to sa Bible, no, or anything, but para lang guided kayo na when you observe, you really focus on the text. Pag nag-advance ka na bro sa Psalm, maintindihan mo ito. Basic ka pa lang bro, no? Hindi ka pa nakakapag-advance.
Yes, kuya.
Pag nag-advance ka, you will understand this kasi may biblical hermeneutics sa primary TBL. But for now, para at least makita mo, when you observe, you just really focus on the text. You ask the 5 W's. What, when, where, why, who. Yan ang, pag na-answer mo yung 5 W's, 1H, how, yun. Observation lang yun. Okay. Minsan yung why, parang ano na siya, hypothesis. But anyway, okay. How can someone know that he became unspiritual and demonic? That's a good question. Yeah. How can someone know that he became become? Naging OC man ako sa grammar. How can someone know that he is becoming becoming unspiritual and demonic? So that's a really good question. Ikaw, Mar Carlo, ang nagtanong nito?
Wala na, all-knowing na.
May hypothesis ka ba? That's a good question.
Yes
May
po,
homiletical implication siya, no? May hypothesis ka ba? Or bakit kaya? Like, or ang hypothesis is just a guess, ha? It's an educated guess. Bakit kaya how do you know na unspiritual and demonic ka na? In terms of wisdom, ha? Hindi ito siya like, in terms of wisdom. Kasi we can be unspiritual and demonic in terms of others. Wala ba bro? You can just say na, kuya, wala. Ganun. Hindi mo kailangan talaga. I'm just asking, baka pala meron. You're thinking, wow, sana all my brain. Anyway, so ang ako, may hypothesis ako dito, if okay lang with you, ang basis ko is verse 14. Kasi sabi niya, this is not the wisdom. So, what is he referring? That's verse 14. Sabi niya, if you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition, so you can know if someone is relying on wisdom that is unspiritual and demonic if that person has bitter envy, bitter jealousy, and selfish ambition. Yan. And merong post actually about this. Very famous yun na Facebook post na yung parang, that's demonic wisdom. Nakita niyo yun, Ate Jean? And I always wondered, saan yun galing? Yung parang reference niya. Parang babae siya na post, tapos parang may quote, ganyan. Tapos sabi niya, that's demonic wisdom. Ganon. Nakita niyo ba yun? It's a very famous post sa Facebook. And it's a really good example of this hypothesis. Nakita niyo yun, Ate Jean? Wala man si Ate Jean pala. Or Cherry?
Lumipat lang. No, not really. Or kung nakita ko man siya, baka hindi ko binasa. So sorry.
Ay, yan. Oo. Ito, nakita ko na. Kasi nung first ko nakita, demonic wisdom. Ano pang wisdom na demonic? And parang gidoubt ko siya ba? So hindi ko siya gi-shared post. Kasi baka mag-comment na naman si Jonil. Pero now it makes sense for me. So sabi niya dito, when you hate someone, do not teach your kids or family to hate them too. That's demonic wisdom. Diba? So, at first, sabi ko, demonic wisdom. Pero it makes sense in light of James chapter 3. Kasi, if you say na you hate someone because of bitter envy, bitter jealousy, no, naiinggit ka sa kanya kasi baka mas matalino siya or mas hardworking or mas mayaman, pero mayabang siya, ganun kaya na-hate mo siya or ina-abuse ka niya or in something. So you hate someone, do not teach your kids or your family to hate them too, no? So ang nangyayari kasi, you are now enrolling others. Naghanap ka ng karamay, naghanap ka ng alliance, no? And that will just worsen the problem. Kasi ngayon, marami na ang galit sa tao na yun. Wherein yung tao na yun, wala naman siyang problem with those other people. So you're using your tongue to sow discord and create factions. And this is very important in the context of church. Kasi in James' context, he's talking to the church in Jerusalem, most likely Jewish Christians. So this is a Christian community. Most likely nag-aaway-away sila because of this boasting, because of bitter envy, because of selfish ambition. So, makikita mo na, in a way, though hindi siya perfectly, talaga, no, perfectly coherent, you can see this as an application na this is a bad way to use your tongue. Say, oo, may bitter envy ka with someone, and you have selfish ambition. So, ngayon, gusto mo, lahat sila galit sa tao na yun. And that is, in a way, it's demonic or unspiritual na wisdom. You're not really relying on God's wisdom. No? Kasi God's wisdom is peaceable. Yan. Meaning, you're trying to promote peace. That's verse 17. It is pure. It is considerate. It's humble. It's submissive. Diba? So instead of creating discord and fighting, what true wisdom produces, the wisdom from above, the wisdom that comes from God, heavenly wisdom, it promotes peace rather than discord and quarreling. Okay. Agree ka ba dito, Mark, Carlo, or disagree? Again, okay lang mag-disagree, guys, ha?
Yes, Kuya, agree.
Oo, kasi very, very open kami to disagreement. No? Kasi it means that you're really thinking, no? You're really wrestling with the text, and we welcome that, no? Mga healthy disagreements. Okay, verse 16, bilisan na natin, no? Malapit na mag-9. For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, kung merong ang jealousy, merong ang pansariling ambition, there will be disorder and every vile practice. Yan na, disorder, di ba? Magkakaroon ng gulo. And every vile practice or evil practices will emerge. So, sabi dito, ang observation, serving the self can only bring disorder. Yan, medyo pwede pa siya as observation. Kasi yan na nga, selfish ambition, jealousy, that's really self-centeredness. That's self-serving. Okay? Na attitude. Can only bring disorder. Yan, very good. I'm very proud of you, Mark Carlo. Kasi alam kong ikaw ang nagsulat nito. Di ba? I got you, bro. So,
Hindi
nagigets
ako
mo na. Ay, hindi ba? Oh, no. Sino kaya ang nag-ano nito? Ate Jean ang naglagay ng observation na ito. Or baka si Kuya Harris. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Only Jesus matters. There is also order and good practice. Yan. Ito si Mark Carlo na talaga ang naglagay nito. Jealousy
Hindi
and
din.
selfish. Ay, hindi rin. There's also order and good practice. Jealousy and selfish ambition leads to distraction. Okay. Ang distraction, hindi na yan siya observation. No? Pero pwede mo sabihin, leads to disorder and every vile practice. Yan. Observation yun. Kasi yun naman talagang nakalagay dyan. Jealousy and selfish ambition leads to every vile practice. Where does jealousy and selfish ambition come from? I think the worldly things today contribute to jealousy and selfish ambition. Okay, ito homiletical na ito. Kasi wag ka magamit ng today, no? Kasi kasi hindi pa nag-exist yung today sa time ni James. Pwede mong sabihin, the worldly things contribute to jealousy and selfish ambition. Okay, pero kailangan mo to i-back up. What do you mean by worldly things? Saan mo makita sa James that worldly things contributed to jealousy and selfish ambition? Okay, so ganun lang, just something to think about. Where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder in every vile practice. How so? That's a good question. All right. Verse 17, but the wisdom from above is first pure. Ito na yung sinasabi kanina, diba? It's peaceable, it promotes peace, gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits. It's impartial, or it's fair, just, and it's sincere. This is a description of heavenly wisdom in contrast to worldly wisdom, yun, or earthly wisdom. It's the same. Worldly, earthly. That is being wise in your own eyes. Okay, so okay. This is more of a hypothesis. Sino nagsulat nito? Ng observation number 1.
Me.
Oo. I agree 100%. No, na worldly wisdom is being wise in your own eyes. Pero where do you see this in James? Na ano?
Being wise in your own eyes?
Is
Well,
worldly wisdom.
ano eh. Kasi, di ba, saan na ba yun? Ayun no, verse 15. Earthly, unspiritual, demonic. So I just kind of used a different word for it. It's instead of earthly wisdom, I just put worldly wisdom.
No. Yung I agree with that 100%. Yung being wise in your own eyes. Where do you find that sa James?
Kaya nga nilagay ko sa parenthesis. So, hindi naman siya explicitly written here.
Yeah.
Kasi sa Bible, when you compare what is good or heavenly compared to what is worldly or evil, it's usually defined as, for example, ano yung verse na yun? Do not be wise in your own eyes, fear the Lord and shun evil.
Yeah.
So ayun, I think I kind of got it from that verse.
Proverbs 3:7.
Yes. So, evil is defined by essentially doing what is good in your eyes, or what is being wise in your own eyes. Whereas iba yung definition ng ng kingdom or of what is heavenly, diba? So there is the way that the world works simply because of how we define what is good or what is wise in our own eyes, and that has a tendency to be something that's evil or earthly. So di kaya dito parang dinidescribe kung ano ba talaga yung wisdom that comes from above. So it's definitely far from what is evil or earthly. So ayun, kaya nga yung wisdom from above is pure, it's peaceable, it's gentle, open to reason, full of mercy, good fruits, impartial, sincere. Yeah, yun. That's how I kind of got it.
Yeah, ang nakikita ko kasi dito, parang mas maganda siya question, no? Is heavenly wisdom is heavenly wisdom being wise in God's eyes, and worldly wisdom being wise in our own eyes? Question mark. 'Di ba? Kasi hindi siya obvious in the text. na kasi pag sinabi mong observation, meaning talagang inobserve mo lang na nakita mo siya sa text. Pero pag ganito kasi parang you're
Gotcha.
pulling from Proverbs 3:7. You're pulling from Genesis 3, 'di ba? You're pulling from
From
Ecclesiastes, ganun.
and Kings.
So, and from the Bible Project. so,
Yeah.
so ano na siya, parang it's more of you want to explore this idea further. Pag observation kasi, like for example, nag-observe ka ng apple. Sasabihin mo, the apple is red. The apple is hard. Diba? The apple is 3 kilograms. But you're just observing it. Pero pag question na, or ano, you're trying to explore it further. You're trying to parang, is the apple similar to an orange? In what way is an apple different from an eggplant? So yun na, you're trying to make a question. You're trying to explore the idea of being wise in our own eyes as compared to being wise in God's eyes. Anyway, alam mo na ito, Ate Jean, pero I'm just saying this kasi may mga newcomers tayo dito. May mga first-timers tayo, no? And I think they're curious sa how we do things dito sa BPM. Para lang ma-delineate natin, ano ba yung observation? Ano ba yung question? And ano ba yung hypothesis? Why are we doing this in this way? Kasi nga, we're careful not to inject our own ideas, even the ideas of the Bible Project, no, into the text. We want to study the text as it is and to ask James or ask the Holy Spirit, na, Lord, what are you trying to tell us? And we discover the meaning of the text together. It emerges, you know, through the process of exegesis. Anyway, okay lang ba sa'yo, Jean, i-move ko siya to question itong ano, or magagalit ka ba sa akin? Wrong!
Paano
Or,
Char, nailipat mo na. Okay lang.
Ano ko na lang siya, parang numberless. Is the worldly wisdom here similar to the Bible's, to being wise in our own eyes, and while whereas is heavenly wisdom similar to being wise in God. Yeah. Okay. Sige. So, ang question dito, why is wisdom from above first pure? Or why is pure emphasized to be the first characteristic of the wisdom from above? So, number one, kinatype pa ni Anonymous Cuega. Sabi niya, this definition of heavenly wisdom looks like a parallel with earthly worldly wisdom as defined across books of beautiful. Like, this looks like a parallel to the Beatitudes. Yan. Okay. This is still question number one. Sige. Okay, verse 18. Okay, that is the Beatitude. Verse 18, and the harvest of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. Yeah. Actually, mahirap. Hindi ko gets ang verse 18. Okay, fruits of righteousness can only come from advocating peace. Okay? Yeah, parang hypothesis na ito. Kasi hindi siya obvious to the text. No? Okay, something to think about. Okay, sige. So, ang gagawin natin ngayon, meron na sila. Lagay niyo ang pangalan niyo, guys, ha, sa exegetical idea. Pero parang for me kasi may mga questions that need to be addressed before tayo maka-move into the exegetical idea. But since malapit na mag 9 p.m., pwede na kayo kung gusto ninyo, mag-una Alliance Church. Pero before mag 9 p.m., let's take a picture, everyone. Take a pictures. Picture tayo, guys. On cam muna kayo, guys, please. Yan, Ate Jean. Sige guys, Mark Carlo Fuerzas, yan, lumabas na ang mga medication sa kanyang likod. And si Cherry Lut Ambag, Pastor Ma'am Lut, Pastor. Yan, si Ephraim. Yan, si Kuya Harris na sa office po. Grabe, office. Ayan na, nag-yon na si Antoine. No, wag ka magalit, Antoine. Relax lang, bro. Sige na, picture na tayo. 1, 1, 2, 3, smile. All right. Sige, okay na yan. One picture. Sige, wow. Blooming man talaga si Cherry. Good night. Anyway. Papa-awkward lang. Anyway, hello, recording pa pala tayo. Oh my. Anyway, sige. So let's now talk about...
May bata here.
Ay, may bata pala dito. I'm so sorry. Wala ka 18 plus. Ang sumusunod na programa ay rated SCG. Striktong patnubay at gabay ng magulang ay kailangan. Anyway, sige. So, magbasa lang tayo real quick sa exegetical commentary on the book of James, no? Na ang exegetical commentary medyo advanced na ito siya, guys. So, maybe some of you medyo mahirapan. Pero we'll try to simplify as much as possible. Maganda kasi ang exegetical commentary kasi talagang sasagutin niya na kagad lahat ng mga important questions that we need to address. So again, ito nasa BTM Treasure Chest lang ito to those na part sa BTM. And kung hindi pa kayo part sa BTM, we can send a copy of this to you if you want. So this is the Baker Exegetical Commentary on the Book of James. Praise God, meron tayong copy of this, no? Like solid. Chapter 3, verses 13 to 18. Yan. Malapit na mag 9 o'clock, guys, ha? So baka may gusto sa inyo mag-share or something. Okay, kailangan nyo na umalis. Meron ba? Wala? Or baka na shy type lang?
Hindi na makalib, kuya. Interesting.
Wow, interested. Sige. So, bilisan ko lang dito kasi parang mahirap kasi gumawa ng exegetical idea pag hindi mo fully na-grasp yung text, no? So, this is from Baker Exegetical Commentary. Ako may questions kayo, jump in lang kasi medyo advanced na nga ito, no? Postgraduate level na siya. So, wisdom enters our modern, part 2, wisdom from above, chapter 3, verses 13 to 18. Wisdom enters our modern consciousness infrequently, but the desire to avoid its opposite is common enough. No one wants to appear foolish. No? Bugo, manday ka. Nga, diba? Parang, bubo mo naman. No one wants to appear na parang hindi nila alam. No? Sadly, the foolishness that we fear is mostly earthly foolishness. Totoo. No? It's not really the kind of foolishness na that's spiritual. Only worldly foolishness that we are afraid of. We hate it when our retirement portfolio fares poorly or when we buy a car that later gets a low rating in consumer magazines, or when we wear inappropriate clothes to a social occasion. Would that we were as concerned about not being foolish with respect to God. James here in the second part of James 3 gives expression to the same thing that Paul addresses in 1 Corinthians 1, 1 to 3. God's wisdom, in James' terms, wisdom from above, can look like foolishness to the world. But God's foolishness, quote-unquote foolishness, turns out to be mightier than human wisdom. Or in James' terms, earthly wisdom. So, ang sinasabi niya dito, merong God's wisdom and merong human wisdom. Okay? God's wisdom, yun na yung wisdom from above, and human wisdom, yun na yung earthly or worldly wisdom. The parallels between this description of true heavenly wisdom and true faith in James 2 are obvious. Just as genuine faith is distinguished from false faith by works, so also heavenly and earthly wisdom are differentiated by their works. Okay, yan, nagiging klaro na, no? Yung false faith does not produce good works. Diba? Yun ang point ni James in chapter 2. In the same way, yung false wisdom does not produce good works. Nakikita nyo? It's so beautiful. James is writing so amazingly. Likewise, Actually, ma-appreciate nyo lang siya if you read the whole book of James. No? So I really encourage that we do that. But likewise, the wisdom identified as demonic in chapter 3, verse 15 stands as a counterpart to the faith that even demons have in chapter 2:19, di ba? I mean, even the demons believe. Even the demons have faith and they tremble. Okay, so yun. Again, ma-appreciate mo lang ito kapag binasa mo yung James chapter 2. The very term that James uses, wisdom from above, shows his roots in the Old Testament notion that genuine wisdom comes from God, not from experience. That's so good, bro. Like, genuine wisdom comes from God, not from experience. That this high wisdom consists not in knowing how to get along in life, but in walking with God. Kasi yun yung wisdom sa atin eh. Yan siya, bro. That's a very wise person kasi may experience yan siya. Marami na yan siyang nauyab. Marami na yan siyang pinagdaanan sa buhay. But that's not the wisdom that comes from God. It's not from experience. Or, bro, yan siya. Oh, that's a wise person. Alam niya how to get along in life, how to get along with people, no? But that's not the wisdom that comes from God. The wisdom that comes from God, it's people who walk with God. That's how you get that heavenly wisdom, when you walk with God. And that therefore, the beginning of wisdom is the fear of God. Okay? Concept not far removed from that of faith. Israel saw the great power that the Lord used against the Egyptians, so the people feared the Lord and they believed in the Lord and his servant Moses. Once again, James demonstrates his deep concern for a consistent and active faith on the part of his readership. Genuine wisdom proceeds from genuine faith. If you have, kung sa James chapter 2 kasi, more of faith, genuine faith that produces works. Yun yung point niya. Sa chapter 3, it's more of wisdom. And how people with wisdom can control their tongue. So, if you have genuine faith, lalabas in the form of genuine wisdom. Okay? Because of his conviction that this section originally was entirely independent, Dibelius, so this is a biblical scholar, no, pag ganito, this is a journal. 1975, tapos from pages 208 to page 209. So pag may nakita kayong mga ganyan, this is just basically, is quoting a biblical scholar. Dibelius misses how chapter 3, verses 13 to 18 serve by contrasting God's wisdom with human wisdom that is at root self-seeking and envious. It moves from the dangers of speech, especially for those who would be imparters of wisdom, to the problems of intra-community strife, yung pag-aaway within the community of Christ, found in James chapter 4, which is the next chapter after sa chapter na inaaral natin. Okay, nagets niyo? From faith to wisdom to what happens when you don't have this faith, you don't have this true wisdom that comes from the Lord. What happens is mag-aaway-away kayo. That's what we are observing in churches, in workplaces, in schools, and communities. So, ito na. Bilisan ko na lang. Wow, we're so short in time, no? Kaya, noon, 16 hours. Charat! Exegesis and exposition. Who among you is wise in understanding? He must show by means of his good behavior his works in humble wisdom. Wow. But if you harbor bitter envy and selfish ambition sa inyong mga puso, do not boast about it and thus give the lie to the truth. Such wisdom is not that which comes down from above, but the kind that is earthly, unspiritual, and demonic. For wherever there is jealousy and selfish ambition, magkakaroon ng instability in every evil thing. But the wisdom from above is first of all, malinis, pure, then peaceable, considerate, compliant, submissive, full of mercy and good fruit. It's constant and sincere. And the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace for those who do peace. Now, James' challenge here, who among you is wise and understanding, is not unlike Paul's rhetorical use of Isaiah 19 in 1 Corinthians 1. By it, James resumes the concern with those who would be teachers and connects it with the practical demonstration of wisdom by good works. Yan. Dapat makita sa buhay mo, no? Ma-demonstrate na talagang may wisdom ang tao na ito kasi gumagawa siya ng tama eh. He's producing good works, good deeds. The paragraph also links the issues of speech and wisdom with this discussion of faith in James 2. The question serves as a conditional clause. Those who deem themselves wise and understanding or have the potential to be a teacher must show their works by good behavior. Yan. Kung tatingin mo, pwede kang maging magandang guro, no, mabuting teacher, which was a very high status at that time. Para kang doktor, attorney, ganun, or parang professor, di ba? Pag teacher ka kasi, rabbi ka at that time, especially in Jewish culture, talagang mataas ang status mo. You're like Nicodemus, you're a Pharisee, you're a leader, ganun. Pero kapag teacher ka, dapat makita sa buhay mo na mabuti kang tao. Hindi pwede na teacher ka pero baluktot ang buhay mo. And that was what the Pharisees at that time were doing. That's what a lot of Jewish leaders at that time were doing, di ba? Kaya nga pinapatay nila si Jesus. The Jewish teachers and leaders in the Sanhedrin. The works are the same kind of works as were instrumental in the justification of Rahab and Abraham. This is again James chapter 2. Works of faith. Hence, although James says literally that the wise and understanding must show the works in humble wisdom by means of good behavior, the context makes it clear, just as in 2:18, the works are instrumental in showing faith. So here, works are the key to showing what kind of wisdom one has. Yan. Pag tiningnan mo sa buhay ng isang tao, makikita mo, is the wisdom na meron siya demonic, worldly, unspiritual, or sasabihin mo, uy, si Ate Jean, talagang may heavenly wisdom siya. Paano mo masasabi na may heavenly wisdom si Ate Jean? Tingnan mo ang buhay niya. Paano ba magsalita si Ate Jean? Paano ba siya makipagsalamuha sa kanyang mga workmates, especially those who are difficult to work with, di ba? You look at their motives, their behavior. How is Ate Jean serving other people? That's how you determine. Hindi na, successful talaga siya na doktor, amazing talaga attorney, talaga, ang dami yung mga trophies and mga certificates and awards. That's not how you determine if a person has heavenly wisdom or not. Sure na, nakita niyo yung kay Carlos Yulo na interview, sabi niya, dahil mabait daw siya na tao, ganyan, kaya maraming mga awards na dumating sa kanya. That's not how you determine. You know, if that wisdom comes from God or not. You have to look at their life. No, it's not by achievements, awards, and high grades, high salary, ganun. No, you look at their life. How are they serving people? How they're loving people? Doon mo makikita if they have heavenly wisdom or demonic, worldly, unspiritual wisdom. Good behavior points to the kind of works that point to humble wisdom. James' point again is that grasping concepts or having worldly success is not what avails either for genuine faith or wisdom from above. What counts is the godly life that results from genuine faith, wisdom. Okay, actually, sobrang ganda nito guys if you read it, pero wala na tayong time. So, balikan na lang natin ang ating text. Tapos try ko na lang siguro explain what I can. Pero if you have more time, guys, like I seriously suggest na read this. It's really good. And it's just 5 pages, I think. And so, para gawa na tayo ng exegetical idea. Wala tayong nagsintaxing pala ngayon, no? Alright. So, who is wise and understanding among you? Sino ba yung may potential to be a teacher? Who has wisdom, quote unquote? By his good conduct, let him show his works in the meekness of wisdom. Dapat makita sa buhay niya that there's humility in wisdom. No? Dapat yung wisdom niya, yung pagiging matalino, hindi mag-lead to pride. mayabang na siya na, ako matalino, ako ano, kayo mga bobo kayo, ganun. Hindi dapat mag-lead to pride, but true wisdom makes you see how little you actually know and how great God's knowledge is, no? Compared sa anong alam mo, compared to what God knows, or the knowledge that is so vast, no? So, it should lead to good works in the form of humble wisdom. But kung meron kang bitter jealousy, naiinggit ka sa success ng iba, and you compare yourself to others and all of that, and selfish ambition, meaning sa Baker Exegetical Commentary kasi ang definition niya ng selfish ambition is ina-advance mo yung sarili mo at the expense of others. May tinatapak-tapakan ka na iba para ma-promote mo ang iyong sarili. Kung meron kang selfish ambition and bitter jealousy in your hearts, wag mong ipagyabang ito and distort the truth, no? This is not the wisdom that comes from above. But it's earthly, unspiritual, demonic. Bakit? For when jealousy and selfish ambition exist, magkakagulo talaga. And evil will come out of that, no? Pag nag-iinggitan na, nagkakaroon na ng pagtatapak-tapak sa iba kasi people are just trying to promote themselves. Naku, away-away talaga yan sa school, sa workplace, everywhere. There is so much evil that will happen. But he contrasts it. The wisdom from above, it's pure. Malinis ang intention. Malinis yung mga salita. No, it's peaceable. It tries to promote peace and unity. It's gentle, considerate. It's open to reasoning. It's open to conversations. It's open to being flexible and compromising and talking things out. It's full of mercy and produces good fruits. It's impartial and sincere. And the harvest of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. Okay. All right. Sige, ready na ba tayo gumawa ng ating exegetical idea? Clap naman if you're ready. Everybody, clap emoji. Wala man nag-participate. Anyway, meron pa... may questions ba kayo? Malinaw lang ba sa inyo? Or any confusions? Wala na? Sige. So, para sa mga bago dito, guys, please write yung sino ang nagsulat para at least alam natin. So, ang exegetical idea, ito na gagawin natin for the next few minutes. Isusulat niyo what the original author intended to say to the original audience. Yan. Ano bang sinasabi ni James sa time na yun, no? To the original audience. So, ang homiletical idea, pag nagawa mo ng exegetical idea mo, i-convert mo siya to our context ngayon. Kasi nga, may sinabi si James, pero namatay na yung mga kinausap niya. How about us? How does it relate to us? So, yun yung homiletical idea. You just convert it. One sentence lang, guys, as much as possible. Tapos reflections, anong na-realize mo? So, I realized that, blah, blah, blah. So, sa application naman, you just, dapat i-convert your homiletical idea into an application. To be as specific as possible, so I will do specific action in specific location at specific time. Okay? Para talagang magawa mo, no? And ma-assess mo, ginawa ko ba or not? 'Di ba? Pag ma-convert mo in this way, talagang ma-assess mo sarili mo. Hindi ko talaga ginawa. Last Tuesday, 7 p.m. So example, kunin ko si Ate, wala pa natapos Ate Jeans. Ate Jeans. So si Ephraim, sabi niya, exegetical, ni Ephraim is, James contrasted godly wisdom and earthly wisdom. Actually, pwede na ito, no? As an exegetical idea. Though, pwede mo pa siya expound. So, yun ang ginawa ni Ephraim. Godly wisdom comes from above, while earthly wisdom comes from serving ourselves. Wow, that's really good. Pwede ko i-rephrase F para maging more concise, tapos one sentence lang. Or ano ito siya. Hindi talaga to. Bid, not open for editing. Tarat. Sige. James contrasted, small g lang actually ang godly, okay na yun siya. James contrasted godly wisdom and earthly wisdom by saying that godly wisdom comes from God. While, as you're trying to contrast, earthly wisdom comes from serving ourselves. Okay? Or pwede from the desire to serve ourselves. Anyway, this is just mine, no? Pwede mo yan i-edit F-frame if you want. Pero I'm just using this as an example for the newcomers. So, ngayon, if ito yung exegetical idea mo, i-convert mo siya to a homiletical idea which speaks to us today. So, dapat something na relatable, diba? Something na fresh, something na boom! And itong homiletical idea, ito na yung ipipreach mo ngayon. Sa sarili mo, to your parents, to your Uyab Alliance Church, to your churchmates, to your family, ganun. Itong homiletical idea, yan na yung ipipreach mo ngayon. Kaya siya tinawag na homiletical idea. From the word homily, which just means preaching. Okay? Homily. So, sabi ni Ephraim, the cost of godly wisdom is turning away from ourselves. Boom! That's so powerful, Ephraim. I'm so proud of you, bro. Yan, di ba? Ang ganda yan, di ba? Pag i-preach mo ito, the cost of godly wisdom is turning away from us. Parang yun ang kailangan mong ibayad. Gusto mo ba ng godly wisdom? Gusto mo ng wisdom na galing kay Lord? Dapat talikuran mo ang iyong sarili. Ganun. So, yan na yung parang bird's eye view of this text. And ito, wag mo na to i-preach. Ikaw, okay ka na yan sa exegetical idea, okay ka na, alam mo yan, alam ng BTM, ganun. Pero ito na yung ipipreach mo ngayon. Kasi that speaks to us eh. This is here and now. Okay. So ang na-realize ni Ephraim, everyone wants to be wise, but not everyone is willing to turn away from it. So beautiful, bro. Anyway, I will ask God to always guide my direction to His godly wisdom all the time so that I may not fall away from His blessings. So itong all the time, pwede mo to i-concretize. Yan, every 6 p.m., ganun. When I get home, ganun. Para ma-specify mo yung time and place. Pero ayun, nagigets ko yan si Ephraim. Very flexible kasi siya na person. Pero I would suggest to everyone else na i-specify mo talaga anong oras mo yun gagawin. Saan mo yun gagawin? Sa bahay, sa school, ganun. Para always, para maano mo talaga siya, ma-concretize mo. Okay, sige. Nag-gets nyo ba yun, Kuya Harris and Mark Carlo Fuerzas? Or naintindihan nyo lang ba? Or confusing siya na explanation? Wala na pala si Mark Carlo. Alis na siya. Si Kuya Harris. Anyway, sige guys, I'll give 5 minutes na lang. Nagsulat naman ng mga people actually. But I'll just give 5 minutes para break. Nagsulat na si Jerry. And we'll end the recording here. Ay,